I think that I found out about Gyaru in about 2009. I'm assuming just from like Tumblr, searching online, that kind of thing. I was very into VK back then, so I'm guessing that I just kind of led into Gyaru from that. I kind of got really into it and saved like so many pictures on my laptop that I had to make a Tumblr of my own because it was taking up so much memory. So that's when I created my Tumblr Rikaboshi, which I created in 2010. Unfortunately, I can't update it anymore. I just don't have the time. But there's a lot of posts on there. I don't know how many, 20,000-ish, maybe. That's basically how it started. I would say that Gyaru is quite a big part of my life. I mean, obviously visually, it is sort of how I express myself. It's also been such a big part of my life for so long now that it's just kind of normal, I guess. To me, Gyaru is definitely more than just a fashion style. I mean, not so much now that I don't have my Tumblr as active, but a couple of years ago it was kind of my life. Like, I had to spend so much time looking through blogs and saving pictures and uploading them and tagging them that I did take up sort of a lot of my time. So I was kind of fully submerged in it then. Now, not so much. I have stepped back from that because I just don't have the time to do it. It is still very important to us. I mean, I wrote my dissertation on Gyaru. It was 300 pages long. So yeah, I think it's definitely more than just a fashion style. It's definitely a subculture and a lifestyle in itself. And my favourite thing about Gyaru is definitely the makeup. For me it's the most important element, I think, because now that I'm a real adult and I can't just wear what I want when I want for work, I can still wear sort of Gyaru makeup. I don't wear it as heavy as this when I'm at work, obviously, but I do still wear eyelashes and circle lenses every day pretty much, and I do wear this much blush every day. So yeah, for me that is definitely the best part, because even if you're not wearing the like whole brand outfit, I feel like you can still feel quite Gyaru if you wear sort of, you know, the makeup, even if it's like toned down or something like that. In terms of inspiration, I think that because I spend so much time on different blogs of styles that I'm not personally into myself, I don't really have any set inspirations. I do kind of take inspiration from Gyaru of all sub-styles and all different backgrounds. I mean, I'm not into cool Gyaru personally at all, but I do sort of definitely admire the way that they dress and how extreme it is. I do like the extreme side of Gyaru, but then I also like, you know, sort of the one Gyaru, obviously Wayne Brady. And for me, I take sort of inspiration from all over the Gyaru spectrum, I guess. There's not really one person that I look up to more than anyone else, apart from maybe Sakurina, because she's kind of a chameleon within the Gyaru world. You know, she can wear Raku, she can wear One, and pull them both off amazingly well. I take that back, she was probably my inspiration. But apart from that, yeah, I do take inspiration from sort of all sorts of different Gyaru, even like the sub-styles that I personally am not that into. But Sakurina, yeah. And for me, I never really picked like a set sub-style. There are too many sub-styles that I like. I couldn't possibly choose just one. So I do kind of flip between a couple, sort of Raku, One, Himikashi. It just depends on how I'm feeling on that day, to be perfectly honest. Which for me is a lot better than just having one sub-style, because I change my mind all the time. Like, I could never just wear the same thing over and over. I would definitely get bored. I never picked like just one set sub-style. I think that Gyaru has influenced my life in quite a big way. I've made a lot of friends online and in real life because of it, which is great, obviously. And then on top of that, I think that's definitely improved my confidence. I mean, I do feel a lot happier in myself when I go out and I've got like all of my Gyaru makeup on and my hair done and all of that. I mean, it might sound shallow, but it's true, so I think that's definitely improved my life for the better, I guess, yeah. In terms of makeup advice, I would say that definitely practice makes perfect. I mean, for me, I started off focusing on eye makeup because thought that was like the most important part, and then everything else just kind of followed really. Look online for tutorials, look in magazines for tutorials, but just keep in mind that if you are looking in sort of a Japanese magazine, that if you're not Asian, obviously the eye shape probably isn't going to be the same as yours, so you will have to modify it slightly. I mean, for me, when I started out, sort of extending eyeliner down and creating the really droopy eyes, that was a big thing back when I started out, and it just did not look good on me whatsoever. I always extend my eyeliner up and then put my eyelashes pointing down. It just works better on my face. I don't know that many people do that, but for me personally it definitely works better, and you just kind of have to accept that some things will look good on other people but not necessarily good on you. I mean, there's loads of people whose makeup I think is just amazing, but when I've tried to replicate it myself, it's looked terrible on my face. It just hasn't fit at all. Another thing for me was finding like a signature eyelash. These are sort of my everyday go-to eyelashes, Diamond Lash, Angel Eye, and they're the ones that I'll wear for work, which for normal people are quite dramatic, but for me one pair of these is like as light as I'll go. I've tried the pink and the blue Diamond Lash, like the much lighter wispier eyelashes, and they just do not work on my face at all. Also, I normally layer these on top, Twinkle Lash Sexy, and as you can see they're a lot spikier than the other ones. I really like the way that these look on other people, but on me these spiky eyelashes just look terrible. If I wore them by themselves they just look really bad, which is why I have to pair them with these, which are a lot fuller. I mean, they are still quite spiky, but they're a lot fuller than these ones. So experimenting with different eyelashes I think is definitely important, because some things will just look really bad on you and some things will look a lot better, obviously. And I think that you just have to keep trying and trying. It might be a little bit expensive, but just keep trying to find what works best for you, really. Building a Gyaru wardrobe, I would say just do the opposite of what I do, which is I have a tendency to just go out and buy things, and then I'll get home and I'm like, well, I've got nothing to wear with this, or there is no way I'll be able to wear it in this country for more than like 3 days a year, because it's pretty cold where I live. Like all year round we don't really have summer, and when we do it normally just rains. So I've got so many clothes, especially skirts, that I either can't wear here or I've got nothing to go with them. Like, that's why I started buying dresses or like set up items, which is what this is, because then I don't have to buy anything to go with it, basically. I mean, if I've got a dress then I'm sorted, that's an outfit in itself. I don't have to buy a top to go with it or anything like that. Also, another thing is, if you're not going to stick to a specific sub-style like me, honestly the combination of me not being able to shop properly and not having a set sub-style means that my wardrobe is just full of things that I never wear and probably never will wear, because I've got nothing that to pair with. Like, it's ridiculous. I really need to stop doing that, so don't do that. Try your best. If you're going to buy something, think, do I have like at least 3 items that this will go with? Will I wear it more than once? Just do the opposite of what I do, really. Yeah, I'm really bad at shopping. I tend to just impulse buy things and then I'm like, shit, I'm never going to wear this. Also, if you're starting out, definitely go for the cheaper brands, especially if you're not sure which style you want to go for. You know, go for like Dream V, or even second-hand stuff from the sales communities. Those are definitely good places to start. I mean, you don't want to be shelling out £100 on like a Liz Lisa dress and then thinking, don't even like this, you know. So definitely go for the cheaper things to start with. It can like help you build a good sort of base wardrobe, and once you're sorted with what look you want to go for or looks, then start investing in sort of statement pieces from like Mars and, you know, all of those obvious Gyaru brands, yeah, I would definitely start with the cheaper things first, or you're just going to end up wasting your money like I did, like I still do. I'm really bad at shopping, so just do the opposite of what I do and you should be fine. Advice for new Gyaru, I would say definitely listen to any constructive criticism that people give you. I mean, there will definitely be those who are just mean for the sake of it because they think that they're more superior and whatever, but they're all people who will want help because obviously they were in that position however long ago. So it definitely pays to listen to those who know what they're talking about. People will be able to help you with makeup, with outfits, with all of that. Definitely take constructive criticism on board, or you're just going to be kind of flankering around trying to do something and never really getting there, you know? I think, yeah, definitely listen to people. Another thing I would say for new Gyaru is definitely do your research. I mean, I think that it would definitely pay off for your look at sort of past styles, especially if you're into the more dramatic stuff. You know, there's nothing wrong with sort of doing a style that's kind of, you know, extinct now. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with taking inspiration from makeup from like 2009 instead of what's going around today. So yeah, I think that research definitely helps, looking at different blogs. I would say definitely do your research, you know, look at thousands and thousands of pictures, look at old magazine scans, look at people's blogs, look online on Tumblr, Instagram, anywhere that you can really. I mean, just looking at a couple of pictures isn't going to get you very far. I mean, there's so much to Gyaru, it's such a diverse subculture that, you know, you're not going to be able to cover it all in a couple of hours, you know, just looking at pictures of one model or anything like that isn't going to help you very much.